Every business owner dreams of sending the perfect cold email that gets responses, books meetings, and drives revenue. But here's the harsh reality. Most cold emails are absolute garbage. They're boring, generic, and get deleted faster than you can say unsubscribe. Today I'm going to break down actual copywriting frameworks that generated millions in revenue in 2025 cold email campaigns and will carry on over to 2026 and show you exactly how to write emails that prospects can't ignore. If you've been struggling with cold emails that barely get open, let alone responded to, this video is going to completely transform your approach. We're diving deep into real campaigns that book hundreds of meetings and generate massive returns. By the end of the video, you'll have a complete blueprint for crafting cold emails that actually work in today's competitive landscape. So the harsh reality of cold email is specific things that don't work. It's just hope this email finds you well, and generic templates that everyone really uses. You want to have some kind of pattern interrupt. So what actually works is actual deep psychological triggers, genuinely show your value, and strategic insight delivery. So here is the opening email structure: immediate personalization, problem identification, poke the bear question, and a soft call to action. So you want to be able to just immediately personalize yourself with them, not just hi, first name, notice you're the VP of marketing, etc. You maybe talk about something that they've had specifically, maybe reference the LinkedIn post, go into a specific problem that you've seen those kinds of companies having, the industry having in general, and then poke the bear. Directly challenge and force critical thinking about your current approach. Cut straight to the core issues and be specific. Then you want to have a soft call to action, talking about going to the problem and then just say, is this worth a chat? Something that's not going to be able to make you sound desperate or needy, but something that says, I can help you solve the solution. If you want me to solve the solution, let me know and we'll chat. Something that's a soft call to action that can prove that essentially you are the person for the job, you have this experience, and you can be able to move forward from there. Follow-up sequence, natural trigger for referencing another LinkedIn post. Maybe you're seeing someone's specific post and you want to say, hey, I really like this post. But don't just say that you liked it. Say what you liked about it, how it resonated with you, a kind of response that's going to be able to make a difference with people and their perception of you coming in on a cold message. So fresh value, what did you see specifically about that post? What made it different to you? What resonated with you? And then an industry trigger. So instead of just normal changes in potential industries, talk about pain points that you've been seeing through your research. Why this violates traditional rules and has worked is because you don't need social proof for this. You're not mentioning testimonials, case studies, or bragging about clients. You're demonstrating your expertise through what you're telling them specifically. You're proving that you know their industry. You're proving that you know their problems, and you're proving that you can help. So you showed that through your messaging, and you addressed early objections. Basically, going into, I know that this is a big problem for people and most people are doing this method, but have you considered something like this? Just being able to say upfront, I know that this is the main objection, but you answer that directly. Next is the agency outreach strategy. So this is going to deep research, being able to find exclusive insider knowledge and taking strategic campaign ideas. You can be able to do this by using buyer intent companies, being able to see any kind of specific intent or maybe testimonials that they currently have. You can use Clay for something like this, where you can be able to find exactly what kind of testimonials they have, what were the clients that they've worked with in the past. Maybe you have a similar prospect that you can mention in your email as well that shows that you've done your homework. When you do this kind of show and tell approach, instead of having the more traditional approach of showing what you can do, making claims about who you are, and trying to prove yourself when they honestly don't really trust you because it's coming in from cold email, it's just not going to work as well as a winning approach where you're actually showing data. You're saying this company's been able to book 20% more of their clients through the cold email approach that you've used, or whatever kind of business that you're running. And you can prove expertise through your insights. You can talk about maybe cold email deliverability if you're running cold email agency, or whatever kind of expertise that you particularly have. So deliver that value immediately, maybe give them insights that they didn't know about their competitors or their prospects, and provide competitor analysis maybe talking about a competitor of theirs that is leveraging, in this example, cold email outreach or LinkedIn lead gen, and so on and so forth. So strategic foundation that makes it all work is having, of course, deep prospect research, showing the value of this research, and then personalization at scale. So this is, again, something you can be able to do with Clay, finding specific research that you know is going to stand out, do that research within a tool like Clay, and then be able to use it into your scripts. They're going to show that you've done your homework and you know what you're talking about. It's going to stand out from a million of the other cold emails that especially VPs are receiving every month, especially if you're targeting enterprise. So you want to be able to stand out with your knowledge of them, of their prospects, of their competitors. Another campaign, which is number 3, kind of goes a little bit against what we were saying before, but it's KISS. Keep it simple and stupid. I like to just make it keep it simple, stupid, but this works as well. So think of the outcome you want, state one problem they have and how it's relevant to your business service or their business or service, and then go into the copywriting. So just state their problem, tell them what you can do or what you have done for other businesses, and then have a soft call to action. So for an example, I can say something like, I've worked with B2B SaaS companies, getting them 15 to 25 booked calls every month. Would this be worth 15 minutes of your time with a soft call to action? So I understand Q4 is a busy time where not a lot of people, or a lot of people are taking off, or a lot of people are away for the holidays. What you don't realize is competitor A is being able to book 10 calls every week through cold email campaigns. Would this be worth 15 minutes of your time? So just get into specifics of what their problem is, what you can do for them, and then specific call to action. Another key piece that I want to mention here, especially within copywriting, is I try to follow this rule of 2 U's 1 I, which is every time you mention yourself, you want to have them mention them at least twice to be able to keep the message focused on them and what is in it for them, what they're going to get out of this. You can sit there and talk about exactly how great you are, what you've done before, but if you're not clearly defining what's in it for them, it becomes hard for them to understand or even trust what you're going to do. So your 2026 cold email blueprint, invest in your research capabilities, be able to find data enrichment tools that are going to be able to find prospect intelligence, understand what your prospects are looking for specifically. So of course, there are those kinds of tools out there that I mentioned as well. Then you can be able to research and find exactly what the pain points are for each prospect and the buyer intent there. Then you could build scalable personalization systems, use the AI content generation, build dynamic templates, be able to use something like a Clay where you can be able to have a template in Clay and then be able to personalize exactly their pain points, your solution, and then a soft call to action as well. Then treat the emails consulting. Don't treat it as you just want to send out an email blast. Try to give them knowledge on their own customer base, on their own competitor landscape, something that's going to be able to say that they've learned something from this email. When you teach someone something, you're building trust. And the whole point of cold email is to build trust, whether you're doing it through testimonials, whether you're doing it through knowledge, so on and so forth. You want to be able to build as much trust as you can in as little time possible, because you want to be able to keep these cold emails short, but you also want them to be packed full of knowledge. So this is the overview of your 2026 cold email blueprint going forward. If you want to learn exactly what the steps are and the checklist to be able to create a cold email campaign, I'll leave the information below or in the next video.